On 20th April 2020, United States Commission on International Religious Freedom, in short USCIRF, puts India in the list of CPC, or countries with particular concern. It basically implies that India is discriminating against its minorities. The list also includes China, North Korea, Pakistan, Nigeria, Vietnam, Burma, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Russia. Let's look at what is USCIRF and how this downgrading will affect India. As per its website, it claims that USCIRF is an independent bipartisan federal commission created in 1998 through International Religious Freedom Act, or IRFA. USCIRF uses international standards such as Article 18 of Universal Declaration of Human Rights to monitor violations of religious freedom or belief abroad. Such violations range from denial of permits to build a place of worship to the detention, torture, killing or displacement of the individuals due to their holding or practicing a particular religion or belief. USCIRF also makes recommendations to the President, Secretary of State and the Congress to help protect, defend and advance this essential liberty. USCIRF is an independent body, but the US President can decide based on the report what necessary action to be taken against these countries. It can come in the form of sanctions or stringent trade laws. Now, this is not the first time India has been on the list. The last time India was on the list was in 2004 during the Godhra riots. Indians have a habit of seeking appreciation from the West. This is the sole reason why we have so many reaction channels on YouTube where a white man appreciates our culture. This happened because we raised our kids with low self-esteem and try to imitate the Western culture. But let's face the fact that how Western you try to act, you can never be white. Even if you use all the fairness creams in India, it will not work. Instead, you'll become like another Michael Jackson. We don't need anybody telling us what our country is and what it is capable of. I really don't care about the USCIRF report, Thanks of India. But anyway, let's look at it for fun. I went through their website and did the annual report. And let me tell you, they are completely misinformed and the report is inaccurate. They have a victim list of all the victims who have died or faced religious discrimination. We know the number of Hindus being discriminated against in our country, including forced conversions and lynchings. Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh have so many discrimination against Hindus and Sikhs. It really does not take an Oxford degree to understand and analyze how the Hindu population in these countries is reducing day by day. And guess what? The USCIRF has no mention of Hindus and Sikhs, which is a major religion. If they can mention small groups like Scientology and humanists, then why can't they mention Hinduism? According to them, it looks like Hindus are indiscriminatable or something, if that is even a word. According to them, the most discriminated faith is Christianity. I have to agree with that because the place where Christianity originated now has no signs of Christians there. All the Christians have been wiped out from their place of origin. Freedom of religion is a principle that supports the freedom of an individual or community in public or private to manifest religion or belief in teaching, practice, worship and observance. It includes the freedom to change one's religion or belief. India, which is a majority Hindu country, has the most number of mosques in the world. Name a Muslim country which has Hindu temples or for that matter Christian churches. It is only recently that the Saudi Arabia laid a foundation for the first Hindu temple in their country. We don't need secularism lessons from a slave trading country which became the United States by killing the Red Indians. Anyway, now let's look at the report itself. It says that the Muslims alone will bear the indignities and consequences of potential statelessness. I understand, a few brainwashed Muslims and few anti-national left liberals protesting in the streets against CAA. I'm sure they don't even know what the act is all about. But a reputed organization like USCIRF should have done some research before publishing their report. Or is there some ulterior motive behind this? Anyway, the CAA Act has amended the Citizenship Act 1995 to give eligibility for Indian citizenship to illegal immigrants who are Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jain, Parsis and Christians from Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan, and who entered India on or before 31st December 2014. The Act does not mention Muslims. According to the Intelligence Bureau records, the immediate beneficiaries of this amended Act will be 31,313 people, which includes 25,447 Hindus, 5,807 Sikhs, 55 Christians, 2 Buddhists and 2 Parsis. Also be noted that the CAA is only applicable for illegal immigrants who are a minority and not for citizens of India. How do you identify an illegal immigrant from a citizen? She will not have any Indian government documents like Aadhaar, passport, DL, ration card or voter ID. He will not have any property owning records. He will also not have any relatives or people who can confirm his identity in this country. It is very easy to identify illegal immigrants. If an illegal Muslim has entered this country, he will be sent back to where he came from. Because that is the right thing to do. India was split in 1947 because Muslims wanted a separate state. If they want to come back to India, then it would be better that we capture those areas where Muslims are facing issues and integrate those areas back into India. We are a small country with a huge population of 1.3 billion or more than 138 crore people. We cannot accommodate all the people fleeing the country that they created by cutting India in half in the first place. That is fair and that is justice. CAA is only applicable for minority population of Muslim countries who are being prosecuted because they are not Muslims. USCIRF is accusing CAA Act, which was brought into force to protect the religious minorities from prosecution. The USCIRF is literally going against their principle and everything that they stand for. Legal Muslims will still get citizenship in India from other countries through proper channel. Now, the report also says that the autonomy of Jammu and Kashmir has been revoked and imposed restrictions will negatively impact the religious freedom. First of all, the USCIRF was born in 1998, so you don't even know about the exodus of Kashmiri Pandits in 1990. That was not religious freedom, it was religious violence. Removal of Article 370 and 35A are both widely contested in the parliament by both the houses, and it was imposed after much consideration. The pros and cons are analyzed and are available. Please go to the website www.india.gov.in and read the Constitution of India before you make such claims. Now, about cow slaughter. It is true that violence has taken place between individuals, but why do selective perceptions of just one community? Do you even know how big meat mafia in India is? BSF Jawans die every day due to cow smugglers from Bangladesh, or previously known as East Pakistan after the partition. Those people, they even use grenades. Farmers' cows are stolen on a daily basis, who use them to plow the field for manure, milk, and are like a part of the family. They are also worshipped in India. Are these matters less important compared to the plight of innocent cow smugglers? The report also mentions that there is no forced conversion happening from Christian and Muslim groups. Let me tell you something. Putting a gun to your head and asking you to convert is not the only way of forced conversion. There are many ways to convert people like bonded labor, rape, child marriage, love jihad, kidnapping, and even tempting people with money and property. Ghar wapsi by definition means bring back the people home, which literally means to bring back the converted people who were initially Hindus back to Hinduism. There is no convert to Hinduism technique in our culture, like getting baptism in Christianity. But we have to come up with these names like Ghar wapsi because our culture is under attack. You, USCIRF, being an advocate of religious freedom, should have endorsed this method. We don't want people from other faiths to convert to Hinduism. We don't go around the globe preaching Hinduism to everyone. Take any third world country. In Africa, for example, how many African countries are Hindu? Almost all African countries are Muslim or Christian. How did that happen? Ask yourselves before you start pointing fingers. 3 official members don't agree with the stance taken by the USCIRF. Commissioner Gary L. Bayor says, I must dissent from the decision of my fellow commissioners to recommend India, the world's largest democracy, for designation as a country of particular concern, or CPC, placing India in a gallery of rogue nations in which it does not belong. Commissioner Tenzin Dorje says, I want to express my concerns about the CAA, as all prosecuted religious minorities deserve the same treatment. I also dissent from the recommendation that India should be in the designated as a country of particular concern, or CPC. India does not belong to the same category as authoritarian regimes like China and North Korea. India is the largest democratic nation in the world, where the CAA has been challenged openly by the opposition Congress party and lawmakers, civil society and various groups. By and large, the press freely reported both anti and pro-CAA voices. And chief ministers of states such as Kerala decided not to implement the CAA. The Supreme Court of India has been asked to adjudicate on its constitutionality. India is a free and open democratic society that allows for all possibilities. Therefore, India is not a CPC country. Commissioner Johnny Moore says, I am gravely concerned that political and intercommunal strife will be further exacerbated by religious tensions. Yet, I am also heartened that India remains the world's largest democracy governed by a pristine constitution. And I am also encouraged that this great nation is a tremendous friend and ally to the United States. It is also a nation that is very definition of diverse. My hope and my prayer is that India's still young and freewheeling democracy will give way to an ever brighter future through these challenges. For all of its citizens, whatever their religious or political affiliation, I'm rooting for India's institutions to draw upon her rich history in order to pull her through the present time. It is also interesting that the report is coming out now, when most of the foreign countries are exiting China and looking for some other country to invest in. In the end, I just want to say that if you're creating an annual report, then do a thorough research and see both the sides of the coin. Don't be narrow-minded. Kindly modify your research to include Hindu victims as well. After all, we all are humans, we also deal with our problems. India is a democracy and nobody gives you the right to judge our country and our constitution. USCIRF, you are not the international moral police, so keep yourself limited to the USA. We don't need missionary activists telling us what is wrong with our country, when you yourselves are the troublemakers behind the curtains. But it is our fault that we seek validation from the West. Even after the abrogation of Article 370, India invited European MPs to Kashmir so they can give the certificate of normalcy. Seriously, India needs to let go of these behaviors. We need to be more authoritative and have balls to stick to the decisions we have made. We can never please or convince the world, and we don't have to. Our culture and way of life is way better than any Western classes on moral science. So stop seeking validation from the white man and start take pride in being an Indian and a Hindu. Namaste.